quiet shift is happening in gardens everywhere, one that most people won't notice until it's too late. Every fall, thousands of gardeners repeat the same costly mistake, believing it's the right thing to do. They heap in wheelbarrows of compost, pack every inch of their raised beds, and feel confident that spring will reward them with thriving plants. But there's a truth almost no one talks about, a truth many seasoned gardeners discover only after they've wasted money, time, and precious soil health. Today's video reveals the shortcut that flips everything you thought you knew about fall soil preparation, and once you learn it, you'll never go back to the old way again. There's a reason this method is kept quiet. It's too simple. Almost suspiciously simple. Yet it outperforms traditional compost filling in ways that transform your raised beds from tired, depleted boxes into living ecosystems bursting with microbial activity. And it starts with understanding why compost alone, even great compost, isn't giving you the results you expect. Many gardeners blame their seeds, their watering routines, their sunlight, even their climate. But the real issue is hidden beneath the surface, right where most people think they've done everything right. Fall is the moment when your soil decides what kind of harvest you will get next year. It's not when plants are growing, it's when soil life is preparing. In nature, nothing fills the ground with compost. The forest floor never gets dumped with a thick, dense layer of pure organic matter. Instead, leaves fall, plants die back, and the top layer becomes a slow, gentle blanket, never suffocating, never overwhelming. Raised beds, however, often get treated like containers, and people assume they need to be topped off aggressively. But this one shortcut you're about to learn aligns your garden with the natural rhythm of soil, and that's why the results feel so dramatic. Before revealing the shortcut, let's address the hidden problems caused by adding only compost. First, compost compacts. It may look fluffy today, but by spring, it collapses, lowering your soil level and squeezing out pockets of oxygen your plant roots desperately need. Second, compost alone lacks structural diversity. Plants don't just grow in nutrients, they grow in architecture, in the tiny networks of air channels, sponge-like textures, and layers that mimic forest soil. Third, and most surprising, compost can create nutrient imbalances when applied too heavily, especially in young beds. This leads to lush leaves but weak yields, something gardeners often mistake for too little fertilizer. Now here's where everything changes. Instead of filling raised beds with compost this fall, the shortcut requires you to do something far lighter, almost effortless, but far more intelligent: build layers that feed the soil, not fill the bed. Gardeners who discover this method often describe the next year's harvest as their easiest ever. The soil becomes darker, softer, richer, and far more biologically active. The shortcut is simple. Leave the bed mostly alone, add only a thin compost layer, and cover it with organic matter, just like nature does. But there's an art to it that makes all the difference. Start by resisting the urge to dump in inches of compost. Instead, add no more than half an inch, just enough to refresh the microbial life, not bury it. This thin layer blends naturally during winter, carried downward by worms and rainfall. It invites life instead of smothering it. Then, add materials that gardeners often overlook: shredded leaves, straw, grass clippings, or dried stems. These are not waste, they are the soil's winter coat. They trap moisture, regulate temperature, and prevent erosion. Most importantly, they decompose slowly, mimicking the forest's annual renewal cycle. By spring, what started as a light blanket transforms into the perfect foundation for new roots. Where traditional compost-heavy beds become dense and low, beds treated with this layered fall shortcut rise in fertility. The soil becomes loamy and alive, not flat and stale. Worms multiply. Fungi form delicate networks. Microbes flourish. This ecosystem is what truly feeds your plants, more than any bagged product ever could. But the transformation doesn't end with soil health. There's another reason this method works so dramatically: it preserves soil structure. Raised beds rely heavily on the integrity of their inner layers, especially if you built them through the lasagna method or filled them with different materials over time. When you dump in too much compost, it disrupts the bed's internal layering. It mixes textures that should remain distinct. You lose drainage in some places and moisture retention in others. In contrast, the fall layering approach protects the structure while still enriching the top layer where most activity occurs. There's also a psychological shift that happens once you embrace this method. Gardening becomes lighter, calmer, and less labor-intensive. You no longer spend your fall hauling heavy loads from the compost yard or buying overpriced bags from the store. You start using what you already have: leaves from your yard, grass from your lawn, stems from your plants. Instead of feeling like maintenance, your garden becomes a natural cycle you participate in. You'll look at your raised beds in winter and feel quietly confident, knowing they're preparing themselves. When spring arrives, the magic becomes impossible to ignore. Seeds germinate with surprising strength. Roots spread effortlessly through the soft, nutrient-rich soil. Plants look healthier earlier. Even watering becomes easier because your beds hold moisture more efficiently. Many gardeners report they can water less and still get better results, thanks to the fungal networks and organic matter created during winter. You may be wondering whether this minimalist approach results in less nutrition for your plants. Surprisingly, it leads to more. Compost doesn't feed your plants directly, it feeds the microbes, and microbes feed your plants. By adding too much compost, you give the soil more food than the microbes can process. It overwhelms the system. This shortcut brings everything into balance. It's not about giving your soil more. It's about giving it what it can use effectively. Another hidden advantage is how this fall method improves soil pH stability. Many composts are slightly alkaline. Adding too much can create subtle imbalances that affect nutrient uptake. But when you use a thin compost layer and cover it with organic mulch, decomposition releases nutrients slowly, naturally buffering pH. Your soil becomes self-regulating, requiring fewer amendments and less guesswork. But one final element seals the success of this method: consistency. Doing this every fall builds cumulative wealth in your soil. Year after year, the layers break down, enrich the earth, increase microbial diversity, and deepen soil texture. Season after season, your garden becomes more self-sustaining, more resilient, and more productive. When you step into your garden next spring, you'll feel the difference before you even plant a seed. The soil will feel soft under your fingertips. The beds will have held their form, their structure, their moisture. And the plants you grow will show you the reward of choosing the shortcut that truly works. This fall, don't fill your raised beds. Nourish them. Protect them. Partner with nature. And let your garden surprise you with the spring it deserves.